Good evening, folks. Welcome to Arclight's Asylum. I'm your host, Zach. We have another episode of Real-Time Painting for you tonight. Quick shout out to the channel sponsor. Just going to adjust the music slightly here. Quick shout out to the channel sponsor, A-Reason Minis and Games. Derek's been helping support my endeavors for a few years now and continues to do so. Check out his web store for anything and everything Battletech. He's also got a ton of other miniature and game lines available, as well as some good hobby supplies. As a Canadian, he's my number one pick for anything Battletech related coming from the States. So hopefully that says something. Tonight we're going to crack on again with more of the Clan Novacat Alpha Galaxy binary that we've been chugging through for several streams. Looking to finish the blue this evening, as well as crack through most or all of the starfields. Do apologize about the stream fumble last night. I've since swapped out my chat box plugin to one that seems a lot more reliable, so fingers crossed. Quick reminder to pop over to the Discord if you haven't already. It is in the chat, the links. It's in the chat for Twitch and YouTube. And if you're watching this recording on YouTube, it is in the description below. Hop on over, go into the Real-Time Painting channel. I'd like to invite all of you to post your work in progress shots, photos of your finished minis, any other hobby and art related things you'd like to share. Without further ado, let's hop over to the painting desk and let's get to it. Oakley dokley. I just ordered a set of wireless headphones because I have some AKG studio headphones, which have served me very well when I just sit at my PC desk, but when I have to maneuver back and forth between my painting desk and my PC desk, it becomes very cumbersome having this big long cable attached to me. So specifically for sitting at my painting desk and doing this stream, I'm going to be swapping over to some wireless headphones. Alrighty, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to finish off with the secondary edge highlight color on the Fire Moth, because this is the only mech that we haven't done that to yet. Once we finish that, which shouldn't take us too long because there's not a huge amount of panels to edge highlight here, we're going to crack on with the third and final highlight color. It's going to be a mix of arcane blue and white ink, which is what the secondary highlight color is, but it's going to have a lot more white in it. So it's going to be very bright. It's going to be for extreme highlights, kind of those point highlights on corners, like the sharpest corners, and only like the most prominent edges, and just a very subtle amount on the most prominent points. All right. I'm going to go ahead and, before I grab my paintbrush, pardon my pale white arms here. I'm wearing a sleeveless shirt because it is hotter than hell where I live right now. And I don't have AC in my house. I have like a few AC units and some windows, but that's about it. No central air in the family office. So making do with an oscillating fan. I'm gonna go ahead and grab just a little bit more white ink, throw onto the wet palette. The color I just put onto the palette is arcane blue. You'll see a couple other colors on there. I've got some bloodstone from Formula P3. I've also got some chocolate brown from Vallejo. Those are just for me pre-stream here for like 20 minutes. I was just working on a truss bridge 6mm scale. Not a very detailed one. I'm just for gaming purposes. So I was just doing the trusses in brown because I'm going to eventually layer up a little bit of the ruddy color there, as well as some metallics. So it's just going to look like a rusty truss bridge, as most truss bridges are. Most of them tend to be rusty. A little bit more white ink there. I want to brighten up this arcane blue, but not a lot. Go ahead and zoom this in slightly. I'm going to pop this puck off the post. That's about the right consistency. I'm going to try to keep these lines nice and sharp. One thing that should be pretty exciting for me tomorrow anyways is going to be, I've got a new camera mount coming in because the one that I'm currently using is about to fall apart. So I'm going to have a new overhead mount. It should shake less too when I vibrate, because it's going to have 2 posts instead of a single overhead post. It's going to have a crossbar with 2 anchor posts. It's going to be pretty sturdy. It's also going to give me a little bit more versatility when it comes to mounting the side panel lights. They're actually not bad. Like the mounts they're on are fine. It's just I have a lot of stuff mounted to my desk at the moment, and I think having just the 2 crossbars or the 2 anchor posts with the crossbar will just help tighten things up, keep everything all on one kind of system. The only other thing that'll be mounted to my desk is going to be the task lamp that I use, which is a neat Fi. It's kind of the less expensive version of like a red grass gaming, or not a gaming, painting lamp. The red grass, like this one, it's articulating, like the red grass, and it's very bright. I really enjoy it. The red grass is a little bit nicer just because it has the 2 swivel heads on the articulating arm as opposed to just the one. And they kind of oppose each other, which, especially overhead, helps to give you kind of opposing lighting, which is really nice. Honestly, lighting is probably one of the best investments you can make for a painting desk. Just makes everything easier. You're not straining as much, trying to see things. And I mean, I do essentially all my photography is done on my painting desk because the lighting is so good. Getting that forward-facing edge there. A little bit of this top side stuff there as well. Side of this. Reinforce that front-facing edge. It's looking pretty good. I reckon we're probably going to have a very small guest list for people visiting the stream tonight. It is a Friday night, and this was a pretty last-minute stream. So if you are with us this evening, really appreciate it. It's not like I get paid for viewership or anything, but, you know, just feels nice to have more people hanging out. And what I want this whole thing to feel like is kind of like a hang. Just hanging out, listening to me ramble. I think I really like Chris from Thunderhead Studios' explanation. He used to live in a city, and he kind of lives out more in the country now, if I remember correctly. So he doesn't have a gaming store close by to him. And I'm in a very similar situation. He said he used to be one of those, you know, he was kind of that guy at the local gaming shop just because he was constantly there and he would just talk people's ear off, kind of self-deprecating and joking around about it. But he's like, I kind of miss that. So like he's like, I wanted to stream so I could ramble about the things that I'm thinking about without sounding like a crazy person just talking to myself in my office. I can talk to all you people on the internet and do it that way. That way I don't feel so crazy. And I definitely resonate with that. It's one of the byproducts of living in the middle of nowhere, I guess. Pros and cons. It is quiet, it's safe, doesn't cost a lot, at least in most ways. But certain conveniences just aren't in place. I think we're probably good with this guy. We're going to go on to the more extreme highlight now. So I'm going to take a bit of this arcane blue, soft just slightly. I'm going to take a bit of this arcane blue, go ahead and grab a good amount of this white ink. Like I loaded my brush right up there. I'm making a very, very, very bright color. I'm going to actually add just a little bit more white ink. Pardon me. I've removed essentially all the moisture from this brush, so I don't want this white ink to wick like crazy into this brush. I'm also going to offload some excess right there, and I'm just going to mix this in. Come right back in, and I'm just going to pick a few prominent areas. I'm going to check the flow coming off, making sure I can get some nice fine lines, and then I'm not going to flood my miniature with anything. This is a very, very vibrant hue that we've made. So I'm just, again, I'm picking like these most prominent edges and corners. I'm not going too nuts. I'm going to pick kind of this high area up here that's a little bit more bold. And then I'll pick these little sharp corners and this most prominent forward edge. So, and I'll just kind of hit some of these corners and whatnot. JS Twitch just subbed. What's going on? Thanks a lot for the sub. Really appreciate it. I just recently unlocked Twitch affiliate, so I'm really happy to finally start being able to get some subs. Makes me feel legit. I know there's a long way. It's a long road to the top if you want to rock and roll, but subs are the kind of the ground level starting point. Okay, I'm not going to do too many more areas on this thing. Just going to hit a few of these forward corners, like so. A couple on the edge near the canopy. I think that's about good. Like that's super bright. Don't want to go too heavy with this. All right, now we're going to hop over to the Timberwolf just because one of the bigger ones with more corners and stuff. JS Twitch, I'm the Red Baron on your Discord. Howdy, howdy. Happy to have you here. Let's start near the canopy because this is definitely like the brightest area. So kind of where these framing points, I guess, intersect or adjoin. I'm going to focus on some of those areas. Down there on the middle. And just kind of like those highest facing edges. Side. It's a very small touch. You don't want to put too much of this, but it makes a huge difference. Okay, I'm just going to put it on a few corners and stuff here. it just helps things pop really well. Using acrylics, correct. Pretty much always. Like I use oils largely, like oils and enamels I use largely for weathering. But yeah, I wouldn't mind trying oils just for their blending properties. I'm scared though. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of scared. It's just I have a nasty habit of touching parts of my miniature that I shouldn't. And when you paint with oils, you can't touch your miniature at all, or else you just take the paint away with you, or smear things where you shouldn't. It's just not something I want to be dealing with. So I think it'll, like, even right now, like as I'm just holding this miniature, I'm touching the leg, and I'm not even really intending to. And with acrylics, I can get away with doing that. With oils, I would not be able to. I'd have to be super, super careful with where I'm putting my hands and fingers. And I'm a little bit sloppy in many regards. Again, just hitting these most prominent corners. I kind of hit a lot of these top edge areas. It is unfortunate this sculpt had quite a few mold slips and other casting issues with it, so it's not going to be ending up on the Camo Spec site, but it's going to end up on my tabletop at some point. So you'll probably notice I bring my brush out of frame frequently. That's usually to quickly rinse it and then reapply paint. I don't really like to let paint dry in my brush. Griffin, what's going on? Thanks for hanging out. I just really don't like paint drying in my brush, and I am constantly drying or rinsing and reapplying paint to avoid that. Do like the middle area here, near the corners up top. So, let's that out again. I gotta mix a little bit more of this color blend. The white. Two. Sorry, no, this is just shaky Timberwolf time for the camera. There we go. It's too much on those. Definitely up top, I'm going to hit a few of these corners. Again, this is a very, very small touch that I'm putting. At Sharp Looking Mad Cat, I'm working on some Dazzle Camo schemes for a Lance soon. Have you ever done Dazzle Camo? If so, what would you find work well for it? Just a lot of lines. I've never done Dazzle Camo. Also something I'm scared of doing, just because of the labor involved. That said, depending on the miniature, if it's a larger miniature like an assault mech or something, you can definitely get away with using masking tape, or even if you want to take a little additional time, use some masking putty in conjunction with a little bit of masking tape, and you can mask out some lines and use an airbrush to do those. Like when I'm doing basic camo schemes, that I love using masking putty and an airbrush for that. Dazzle Camo is a little bit more precise and, you know, grid-like and whatnot in terms of like straight edges versus straight edges. It's not really grid-like; it's wrong term. But you know, fractal straight edges, straight edgeception, essentially. Boom, super bright. Those Like, just hitting those little corners makes this thing pop so bright. I do apologize, I missed, what was that? Missed the, OGS subscribed 7 minutes ago. Oh no, I already saw that. Who else, was that on YouTube? Totally missed the alert. My apologies. For some reason that alert didn't show up in the chat, but oh well. At least both chats are connected right now. I'm very happy about that. It was such a pain in the ass dealing with that yesterday. Very discouraging. So I use a client called Owned Pro, owned with a 3 instead of an E in it. And it's basically like a streaming repository for overlays and other things. It's what I use all to give me my nice overlays for this. But they have a chat box plugin that's supposed to work well, and unfortunately it just doesn't, for YouTube especially. So I just opted to not use their chat plugin, swapped over to Caster Labs is the current program I'm using, and it works far better. It's a lot more bare bones. It's not as fancy. You can't pick like a bunch of themes and whatnot, but it just works very well and consistently based on all the reviews that I was looking at. So, and just so far, and as you know, so far and as looking at how it's functioned so far, seems pretty good. Pretty happy about it. So I'll have to double check the settings and make sure that I have alerts turned on for the chat so I don't miss the alerts again. All right, Timberwolves done here. These quick little point highlights shouldn't take us too long, which is really nice. Got a few of these corners. This is a really big canvas to work with. I'm gonna definitely put a few big prominent stars on this Warhawk. I'm working my way back here. Again, I'm just really focusing on those corners. It just works as definitely a primary quality. Yeah, honestly. What's your plan with the lower half of that mech? So the lower half, like basically the arms and legs, I've already dry brushed them previously, but it was with a very dark gray. So what I am going to do after I do all the starfields on the blue, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do very selective dry brushing and quick little basic edge highlights on a lot of the arms and legs, just to get some more edge definition on these. I'm probably going to do that after adding decals. I want to do the decals after I do the starfields. But with the way that I'm going to do kind of some of that selective dry brushing, it's also going to stand in for basic weathering and scratches and nicks and dings in the paint along the edges and corners. So I want to do that after I add the decals. That way, if I have any like scratch and scuff marks that are going to go across a panel, they're going to go over decals that are on that panel. That way it'll kind of bring the decal into the paint job. It's like a, like a painted on emblem that has a big scratch across it, that kind of thing. What's going on, Werewolf? Happy to see you back with us. One of the regulars. A couple more of these corners back here. This little area right here, a little bit on the front here too. I've got these boxy things up here. But if I do this little soft edge here, I gotta be very gentle, not do too much of it. Same thing with this one up here. Do these corners a little bit more. I'll get here waiting for flight, so I had the chance to catch a stream. Nice. Where are you off to? Where are you flying to? Tell us your flight itinerary so we can stalk you. I'm gonna have to come back in and block in kind of these two doodads right here. These are like sensor suite lenses. So I'm going to come back in and I'm going to block these in with black because I'm going to be jeweling those at some point. Make them look like shiny lenses. I'll probably do one in grayscale and then the other in like purple. Kind of like those are kind of the two main colors. I like doing a lot of sensor suite lenses. And I think that's probably just a byproduct of personal experience in the military. A lot of sensor suites that I come across are like silver. Have silver coating on them, especially if they're like thermal imagers. It's usually germanium is the material that they like to use on the lenses. That's usually silver, and then on like a lot of the periscopes and stuff on armored vehicles, depending on how the light hits it, it's either going to give you like a bluish green tint or it's going to give you a purple tint, which looks pretty cool. So I like going with the purple in most cases, especially if I'm going to have like green lasers and stuff like that on the mech. I don't want to be using sensor suites with the same colors, just to change things up and make it a little bit more diverse. Flying back home, Puerto Rico, nice. Where are you visiting? Real-time painting Discord channel for images? Correct. Yeah, you can drop them in there. I suppose I should probably collate and combine the miniature painting emporium and the real-time painting one. That way we can just get them all on one spot. But I don't know. Still learning the whole running your own Discord server kind of thing. So I'm just playing it by ear and making changes as I come across things that I want to make changes to. Backside doesn't really need too many of these. I think this guy's good. Alrighty. Let's go on to the pouncer. It's got some pretty prominent armor panel edges. So it's also got this nice bubble canopy, so I'm going to kind of hit around some of these areas, especially on these curved surfaces. And kind of that center area, a lot of light gleaming off of it, that kind of idea. Trying to make this thing sparkle. Won't sparkle per se, but it'll, you know, in essence. Noticing a hair stuck in the kind of armpit area on this thing. There we go. Yeah, I've got when it comes to the Discord, I've got like a window source for the Discord added into my streaming software. So when I go through the stuff in the Discord, I'll actually have it up on screen. So we'll actually go through together. So if you don't want to have to go through the Discord yourself to look at it, though I think you should, it'll just be up on the screen anyways for you, which I think is pretty handy, convenient. How do you feel like these panel lines got neglected a little bit? This mech in particular had some unfortunate casting issues as well in a few areas. Been annoying to deal with when I was cleaning it up. These curved surfaces where there's that prominent highlight on these quadrants, that's where I'm adding these little spot highlights on here. Basically just finding these other areas where I've already added some good highlights and I'm just pumping up the volume on them. Just a few of these corners. Paint's almost dry on this brush. Go ahead and rinse it out. This guy's good to go. Go on to the Blackhawk, correction, the Nova. Might want to keep 2 separate channels for images, one for use in the stream and one not. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought initially. Was in Texas for a work trip. As for Discord, you'll get the hang of it. Lots of stuff that one can do. Yeah, there's tons of functionality I wasn't really tracking. Like, I don't have Nitro or anything, so I don't have, like, a lot of the perks that some people do that have Nitro. But, yeah, I'm part of a number of Discords, but I've never actually... Like, I have one that I run specifically just for my brother and I whenever we game. That's literally it. So it's just got a single text and single voice channel. But yeah, building out a whole new one and adding permissions and all that stuff and trying to format everything was a bit of a learning curve. I'm not as spry with the technology in my old age, I guess. Not that I'm old by any means, but, you know, starting to feel old. 33 is not that old, but two hip surgeries in already, so I guess I'm allowed to say I feel old. This guy's nice and quick and easy. There's tons of very prominent panel edges and corners here, so I'm just touching all the most prominent ones. There are older painters in your chat. Oh yeah, for sure. I may not be old, but god damn it, I'm not 20 anymore. Yeah, that's how I feel. 15 years as a carpenter, I'm feeling it too, yeah. I was a competitive martial artist for a number of years, and then military. So, it ain't the years, honey, it's the miles. One of my favorite lines ever. Been making dad noises when I sit down for like a decade. And I've only been a dad for like, I don't know, a year and a few months. So that's where I'm at right now. Just want some of these like lesser obvious panel lines that kind of pop really well. So I'm just making sure I hit a few of these corners. Just a couple of them, just to help them pop a little bit. Like that small little touch of color makes them seem so much brighter than they actually are. And I was about to say you can't be old because I'm old. All right, we're through 5 of these already. And then after we do these next 5, we're gonna take a very quick break. I'm gonna stretch my legs, and then we'll crack on with the starfields. That's gonna be pretty fun. Yeah, I injured my back vacuuming under a bunk in a military barracks of all things. Nice. Yeah, I have a herniated disc in my neck that it's been herniated since I was like 18, 19 years old. I got spiked on my head when I was grappling. Long story. Well, not a long story, but a little bit of minutia there. Yeah. Anyways, it's whenever my neck flares up. It always flares up doing the silliest things. Had it flare up towel drying my hair one time. I guess I was just too aggressively towel drying my hair. Didn't think that was a thing. So I've definitely done it vacuuming and other things too. Just like turn my head the wrong way while I'm doing something under load, and man, just messed up for like a week, sometimes longer. You cowboying as a side job, just about to turn 30, and my chiropractor tells me my spine looks like a cursive S. Nice. That's just this. That just adds the springy action of your spine when you get tossed and land on your ass. The old S curve spring, dude. It's a feature, not a bug. Agree on the 2 channels for painting. I think that would be natural, convenient during the stream. Yeah. Oh, happy to see that my line of thinking was in the right space. Honestly, I think this guy's bright enough. I don't want to linger on this one too long. Let's get to this Vapor Eagle or the Goshawk. Thin Star just followed. Thanks for the follow. You know, when you were vacuuming under military barracks, was that in training, or were you just like working at the facility? I mean, I guess if you're in training, you technically are working at the facility, but you know what I'm saying. And I'm curious, which barracks? Like, where were you? Oh yeah, I really like these like, whatever these things are, these little pointy things. Makes for some nice little highlighting. Presidio of Monterey, Air Force and Tech School at the time. Nice. Chair Force for life, man. I'm hoping to make my way over there. I'm a broken infanteer. I'm a reconnaissance patroller in my unit, and I'm thoroughly broken. I'd like to go to aircraft structures technician. I'm in the Canadian military, by the way, not a U.S. So we're less funded, a little bit more disgruntled, but we got jokes. That's one thing we got lots of. And cold weather gear. Lots of cold weather gear. I definitely find it funny when American troops show up at my base to do like winter training or anything, even just in the fall. My goodness, they always come so under-equipped. I'm only a few hours from Minot, where I am. Live in Manitoba. I'm at Canadian Forces Base Shiloh. I'm in 2 PPCLI. Yeah, we have folks from Minot come up frequently to do training. Not ground pounders, obviously, airmen. Usually coming up with B-52s and stuff like that to drop ordnance in our training area. Jets as well occasionally. Looks like the chat integration's been working well. Yeah, this chat plugin works so much more effectively. I'm really happy with it. So definitely going to stick with this one. Doesn't look as pretty as the other one, but I don't care. It functions so much better. U.S. Army medic many years ago. Nice. Which unit were you with? I know a handful of American folks scattered throughout the States, so militaries, pretty tight community. Why not? Why not? LOL. My pops was nuclear weapons security there for the bomber flight line in the late 70s. Yeah, yeah. When I first got posted here, I didn't really know about Minot. And then when I found out about it, I was like, oh, cool. Well, if nuclear war happens, I guess I can just like not worry. I'll just crack a beer, maybe pack a bowl in my bong, and sit out on my lawn and wait for the unexpected overhead sunrise. Because I'm not far from where that SAC base is. I won't be long for this world. Got moved to logistics, so I know a lot of folks that went through Minot. Yeah, it's a pretty big base. It's not a bad spot to visit out here from a lot of folks here. I know the state fair, I believe, just happened or is about to happen in Minot. I got my neighbors either just went to it or is about to go to it. I like North Dakota. It's a weird place. You know, I'm a fan of Fargo, the show and the movie. So when I got posted here, I thought it was kind of a little bit comical because I'm just living in the Canadian version of North Dakota, essentially. It's just, you know, it's like Fargo but shittier. Haven't been to too many places in North Dakota, but been kayaking on Devil's Lake. The wife and I have a couple kayaks, and we went down there at the recommendation from Chuck's family actually owns a grocery store in Wisconsin. I can't remember the town. It's a relatively well-known one. Name escapes me off the top of my head, but yeah, he just, it's a very interesting story. He's a guy from Wisconsin, but he owns a large swath of property on the edge of a native reservation in northwestern Ontario, and it's a really, really nice place. It's the Cygnet Lake hunting and fishing camp, spelled Cygnet, Cygnet, but it's pronounced Cygnet if you pronounce it properly, anyways. JS Twitch, 42nd Field Hospital attached to the 194th Armored Brigade back in the 80s. Nice. What faction we painting today? This is from Wargaming Wanderlust. This is Clan Novicat Alpha Galaxy. Just highlighting the rest of the blue, and then I'm going to start working on adding stars to the blue areas. Yep. And then after that, it's going to be just a little bit more highlighting on the arms and legs, edge highlighting mostly, and then decals, then a little bit more highlighting and mostly weathering on the arms and legs after the decals are on there, and then onto like weapon effects, canopies, and bases. Like, we're actually through like a good portion of the work on these guys. I would say we're probably 70% the way through. At least. I would say for sure 70% the way through. 3 left to highlight with this. This is the Horned Owl. This is one of my favorites, honestly, especially of like the newer Catalyst Game Labs miniatures with their sculpts and their redesigns. This is by far one of my favorites. I know it's like everybody's like, oh, it's just a rip off of a Zaku. I don't care. I love this thing. It I don't know, like I'm also a fan of Heavy Gear, and this also reminds me of Heavy Gear a little bit, so I'm a fan. I really enjoy it. There's a lot of, this hits a little bit of nostalgia with a few different things for me. So, and as far as a mech on the tabletop, it's pretty decent, especially in Alpha Strike. It doesn't cost a huge amount of money, but decent amount of firepower, decent amount of mobility. And when I play Override using its individual weapon groups, it's pretty handy as well. Big fan of BattleTech Override, personally. It's Death from Above Wargaming's homebrew system. It kind of combines the best parts of Alpha Strike Classic and the MechWarrior Destiny combat system. Keeps a lot of the flavor of Classic with kind of the efficiency of Alpha Strike, essentially. So I really enjoy it. Because I can have a Classic-like game, but in like half the time. I'm going to do a few points on the back here, and then we're done on this guy. Really not much to do with these smaller spot highlights. Awesome work. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Keep meaning to try Override. It's really, really fun, honestly. Like you need the Alpha Strike Commander's Edition, the MechWarrior Destiny book, and then it's not a requirement, but it definitely helps, but the BattleTech manual. Like those 3 books, and then their rules reference, and like again, the BattleTech manual is not a requirement, but it helps with certain things. It's been a while since I've played it, so can't remember off the top of my head, but I normally just play without using the BattleTech manual. So I have it on PDF, but I don't have it in physical form. And yeah, it plays really well. It's Alpha Strike Commander Edition back available. Yeah, I didn't realize it went out of availability. Maybe it was just out of stock for a while. I know there's like a few erratas that have come out over the last few years for it, so maybe they were reprinting. I'm not sure. I didn't used to like when they reprinted them frequently, but I do now because I do like to keep them in PDF for quick reference on my phone. That way, if I want to look up a rule quickly, I can just Control F and look things up. But yeah, it's very handy when they add the errata to the reprints, because then I don't have to have the errata sheet alongside and then try to remember that, oh no, that rule doesn't actually exist anymore in the way that it used to. It's one thing I never really, I don't know, I like when it comes to 40k, Warhammer 40k, I don't like any of the new editions. I generally just stick to, like, not that I play frequently, but in the handful of times I have played, I've largely stuck to just 2nd and 3rd edition because it's so simple. And like 3rd edition, I feel is kind of the best edition because it has a lot of the simplicity of 2nd edition's play style, but it has a lot more units and war gear added into the game, as well as a few tweaks to the rules that make things a little bit more clear and less ambiguous when it comes to the combat phase. I know there's a few goofy things in 2nd edition where the wording of certain things can be taken one way or another, or in no way at all because it's actually not that clear. So, but overall, the gameplay is very simple in those ones. And I just don't like the constant balancing of things and updating of rules, because then you can never really get anchored in a certain force list that you're interested in. I was looking a while back and only eBay $150 copies. Jesus, really? For fucking Alpha Strike Commander Edition, $150? That's insane. Pardon my language. That is actually crazy. That's criminal. Yeah, I definitely I wouldn't be spending $150 on Alpha Strike Commander's Edition. I would just go on Drive-Thru RPG and get the PDF, or Catalyst Game Labs website and get the PDF. It is definitely nice to have the physical book, though. I will say that. If I was a little bit more bougie, I'd probably get myself a tablet, and then that way I could use the tablet to have all my books on. But I'm not bougie. Again, the tablet. I mean, it's nice having it on the phone because you can just Control F and search for keywords for certain rules and things like that, rather than having to go to the table of contents or the index and then flipping through pages. But I also do like actually physically having the book. Like it's really nice to physically have the book, especially on something like I don't know, like I guess not necessarily a rule book, but like a source book, like the battle, like I guess it's a source book, the BattleTech Universe book that came out last year around Gen Con time. I picked one up at Gen Con when I was down there visiting, and that's the type of book definitely that I like having the physical copy of, because it's just loaded with artwork. It's something nice that I have a bookshelf in my living room, so if I'm sitting drinking coffee, I have tons of old source books and stuff filled with art that I can just pull off the shelf and flip through. Super handy to have. Griffin, yeah, I hear that. I'm old school and very much prefer to have book in front of me. You definitely can't argue with the digital products being updatable, yeah. I'm starting to run out of my black artist ink. Oh no. Pardon me, I'm gonna have to pick up another bottle. No, I'm just gonna grab this black artist ink for a couple reasons here. Firstly, I got a little bit of this highlight color in the recesses in between his sexy abdominals. Reinforce that, just like so. Oh. Did I just disconnect from YouTube? No, I didn't. I just noticed the little alert on my chat box. There we go. Yeah, the one unfortunate thing about this chat box, I gotta figure out how I can get rid of the little system alerts that it gives me. Unfortunately, show up in the chat box, but it is what it is. Alrighty, highlighting is done on this guy. The only other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly block in with that black ink. I'm going to use that black ink. Ooh, just accidentally dropped the end of my brush right in that black ink. Which is not what I want to do. I'm going to rinse this out a little bit more. Just going to use this black ink to block in these little sensors. Just like so. Now we do have this like flamer here, right below the center torso. It's not popping the way I would like, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of metallic paint. I'm just going to do a quick little edge highlight on that thing so it can actually be seen. And then I'm just going to take a very quick break. I'm going to go stretch my legs. I'm going for just over an hour now. We're probably only going to go for about another hour. So, I am a little bit tired this evening. It's been a very long day. I just had the black silver on this piece, so it was not shiny at all. I'm just going to make sure I edge highlight like around the end of this flamer so it actually can be seen. Pardon the angle here. Something that's metallic like this should definitely show. I'll probably do a little bit of stuff with some blue and purple on the flamer just to add a little patina to it later, but right now I think that's good. I'm definitely digging how the metallics look on this one, this mech in particular. Nice and shiny. Alrighty. Shiny Star running a campaign ops game at my favorite local game store. Having both the physical copies and PDFs is good. Source books often reference Total Warfare or other books, so having physical and PDF as different tabs is nice. Yeah, definitely. You know, I'm a big believer of like 2 is 1, 1 is none. So I think having both is just awesome. Calmstar Knight, happy to see you in the chat here. I'm about to go on a quick break just for 10 minutes, but yeah, happy to see you pop by. Big fan of your work. I like the stuff that you've been posting in the Discord. All right, quick little 10-minute break, folks. I have 9:56 on my clock. I'll be back at 10:06. Be right back. little break, a couple minutes early. Gonna have a sip of my adult beverage, wobbly pop, whatever you want to call it. Just finished walking my dog, headed out. So be well. Thanks a lot there, Dana. Howdy, what's going on, Angus Khan? Oh man. Alrighty. Let's hop back over to the painting desk. Let's start painting some stars. Let's do this. Painting. Oakley to Oakley. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move this metallic paint out of the way because we don't need that anymore. We have the white ink. Okay, so this is what we're going to be using essentially primarily to do our stars. Less is more. You don't want to clutter things up too much. We're just going to pick a few areas on all of these torsos, and we're going to add some in. Comstar Knight's still here, so this backgrounds. Is that just printed? Backgrounds on my like my photos. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Some of them are printed, some of them are not. So I have some backdrops that I've hand painted, and then I have some that I have printed on 11x17 matte photo paper. Yeah, Switch, really like your painting style. Enjoyed the slideshow while you were gone. Thanks a lot, appreciate it. Just a little bit too much of me white ink onto the brush. Just a wee bit too much. Okay, a little bit too much there too, actually. Just gonna take a little bit of the moisture out of my brush. I think that's better. Okay. So I'm just gonna start putting dots. Trying to make sure that they don't come out as like weird hash lines or something. I'm trying to make sure that they're like reasonably round. I know that sounds weird, but like sometimes brush tips have a habit of bending in a certain way when you're tapping on something, and that they will just create an odd shape. We're not going to go too crazy with these. Start small. There. It's kind of more of like a little scratch mark, little hash line. Now on the dropship, if you were there for painting the dropship on that stream, which I assume some of you were, some of you were not. I used a toothbrush essentially to flick a lot of my paint onto the dropship for the stars, and then I just picked a few areas and refined them to have bigger ones. But here we're going to manually paint all the stars because I don't want to flick paint onto areas that we shouldn't have white dots on. It's just not the most accurate thing. When you have a larger canvas, like a dropship miniature, you can actually afford to do things like that. But doing that on something like this would just cause you a little bit more work than necessary. Some of these stars, I'm actually going to come back in with an airbrush and create a little bit of light bloom. I think that'll look pretty cool. Just doing those tiny little cross lines. As like distraction lines, essentially. that's neat. I've been looking to upgrade my backgrounds. What size brush for the stars? This is just this is essentially what I use to paint almost all of my detail work, and is a number 2 Marticle and C brush. As proof of that, I'll say it. Boom. Number 2. The only other brush that I use for detailing is my number 1. So I have these 2 brushes. I use these very frequently. The number 1 just has a narrower belly to it, so if I have like slightly more like tight spaces that I'm working in, I'll use the number 1. But the tips on them are about the same sharpness and size. But yeah, like a lot of my very smallest details I paint with this. I have like size 0, 00, 000 brushes. I just quite literally never use them. Like I can show you I have like artist opus ones that are essentially pristine. Like there's no paint on them at all. Like this is a brand new, like I've had this for several years and I've just never needed to use it. And it's a size 0 from artist opus. I've also got the 00 and the 000, and they are also both pristine. Never been used, essentially. I've just never had a need to use these. Like, I don't really feel like they give me a better, smaller point than any of the other ones. So it's just, yeah, I just don't really see the need to. I can just put a lot more paint in this one, which I feel, I have to go back and forth between my palette less, I feel like. Thought about maybe doing like a pattern, like a constellation, but I don't really want to do that. I'm just gonna kind of tap a few areas here. Like that, small cluster. Yeah, just kind of like 3 little stars there. Just a small dot, a couple up top. Trying to do some smaller dots there. I've been using the Princeton synthetics. Those work okay, but the bellies just don't paint well. Yeah, that's honestly like a big quality that I really look for in a paintbrush. Like and I think that's really why I stick with the number 1s and number 2s. It's just because they hold a lot more paint in them. I just don't have to worry about paint getting into the ferrule as much and wearing out the brush. So, I don't know. Everyone has their personal preferences. I don't know, I use synthetics, but largely for oils and enamels. I don't really use synthetics for like acrylics. Having some random dots around. Trying to tap random dots is actually harder than it looks, because naturally we love patterns and order. So trying to make things disordered and random is actually kind of difficult. I suppose if I wanted to cheat, I could use masking putty to like mask off the arms and legs and just flick paint at this, but I don't really feel like doing that. I feel like that would take about the same amount of time as just painting on these. Some tiny little faint stars. It's kind of nice. Probably going to do a fairly prominent star here that I'm going to, probably this right here actually. I'm going to come in with the airbrush and refine this one later on. Just not tonight. Next stream for sure, like tomorrow night, I'm going to use the airbrush just to refine a few of these and create a little bit of light bloom, but I like that, that's pretty good. Nice little canvas at the moment. Got some on this side, we're going to go ahead and fill out this side, and then we'll kind of move towards the back. I think this one has a lot more surface area to do, and I'm kind of taking my time showing you my thought process with some of this stuff, so this one's going to take a little bit longer than some of the others, but we will definitely finish all of these miniatures by the time we get to 11 o'clock Central. It's kind of when we're going to cut the painting portion of the stream off. We'll take a look at the Discord for a short bit, and then I want to be closed out no later than like 11:20, 11:30. Double check and make sure that YouTube connection's all good. Seems like it is. Yeah, seems like it is. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Looking fantastic, sir. Thanks a lot there, Concert Knight. Appreciate it. I'm just gonna come to the back side of this guy. Hit the boost. Read you 5x5. Good, very good. Try to move a little bit more quickly here, not linger too much when we get this a little bit more back centered frame. Right there. Cool. I think the Warhawk's done. Good. Again, I'm going to come back in and like one or two of these, I'm going to take the airbrush and create a little bit of light bloom, and I'm probably going to add a little bit of color. I reckon blue and pink, like cyan blue and magenta, because they're complementary colors. Those will kind of be the two colors that I highlight some of these selective stars with. But yeah, I'm going to do that kind of at least one where I kind of amplify it with the airbrush on essentially every single miniature if I can. I think it's a really nice touch, and honestly it's a fairly low effort touch. It really doesn't take a lot of effort with the airbrush to do it, so I'm definitely got to be cognizant of the fact I'm going to be adding decals at some point. I'm getting some really nice fine dots off this brush at the moment, so I'm going to keep tapping. Rinse off my brush, reload this with a little bit more wet ink. Starting to dry out on the tip. Some of the excess on my fingernail. I love using my fingernail just because it's a fairly smooth surface. It usually gives me a pretty good read of how the paint's going to come off on the miniature. I like to check to make sure I can get like nice fine lines and stuff like that before I go and hit my details. It's also a nice place to offload any excess paint, because at the end of the night I can just quickly scrub that nail and yeah, good to go. A little bit more towards the nose. I'm gonna do one right here. Honestly, as I'm doing this, I'm kind of cringing because this almost is gonna look like a teardrop, tattoo on some hoodlum. Gonna quickly scrub that. That was way too bold. I'm still gonna do it. I just put way too bold of a line there. I don't know what happened there. Quickly unfrig that up. Yeah, I think we're good there. I don't want to. This might be like a bit of a central dot to this. Might come in and add a little bit of color to this guy specifically. Using any drying inhibitor on that white, I am not. No, I really probably should have like a bit of slow dry medium added into the white, but I do not. I'd probably have to go between my between my my palette and my miniature less. Palette, miniature, and water less. Sides there, small guys. Probably going to end up putting like a Clan Novacat emblem right here, so I'm not going to bother putting anything right there. Trying to think a few steps ahead here. Timberwolf is still my favorite mech since Mech Warrior 2. Yeah, it's definitely, it might be my favorite as well. Timberwolf and the Madcat Mark II. Madcat Mark II is probably my all-time favorite, but I think I just have a lot of nostalgia for the Madcat Mark II because I used it a lot in Mech Warrior 4 Vengeance when I was growing up. One of my favorites. A couple Gauss rifles and LRMs. It's really fun to use. Just scrubbing off a bit of a mistake that I made. That drawing looks a little bit better. Put a couple little dots on this guy. Prominent star right there. And some other smaller dots to the top of these missile pods here. They do the other one here as well. I'm gonna not do a prominent one on this little side. The inside of the missile pod there. King Crab, Catalyst 1, the Mech Warrior Online King Crab is too blocky. If I had to pick a clan mech though, Supernova. Supernova is pretty awesome, honestly. It's a devastating mech too. Like it just vomits energy. To make dots that are too big here. Let's see if I can get like a bit of a prominent one inside here. Just trying to be mindful of the angle of the camera as well as my head. This little guy right there. Boom. Good evening, work is done. Let's get some painting in. Stars looking good so far. Thanks a lot, man, TARDIS. Appreciate it. Shiny Star, favorite mechs to Axeman. It's not optimal, but it's very funny to play on tabletop. I just wish I'd get put into one of the games. Yeah, it'd be nice to have one in the game that actually, like, bludgeons other mechs to death with its hatchet. And I'm calling it a hatchet because that's what it's technically called in the game. It's just a large hatchet that it has compared to the Hatchet Man. That's not my best work. I don't really like that thing. That's okay. You know what? We're going to turn this into... this is going to be one of these ones that we come back with the airbrush and hit with some light bloom, and that'll kind of hide some of our inadequacies on this particular spot. It's totally fine. When in doubt, airbrush it out. Boom. Alright, let's hit the backside of this bad actor. I'm going to keep the stars relatively small here. I definitely should be using some drying retarder of some kind because it is very hot where I am too, so it's everything is drying very quickly. Not hold our brush like we're 2 years old. Too quickly here. I get a little careless with some of my star applications. There we go. I think this Timberwolf might be good to go. We'll just airbrush this so it doesn't look so awful. It's totally fine. Boom. Tony Star, I drove the Hatchet Man for a week straight, MechWarrior 5 when it released. Loved that ASYLUM machine, yeah, definitely. Antardis, what made you decide to set up a personal Discord? Honestly, just to have like my own little personal community that's related strictly to like the stream and my, I guess, my hobby pages on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. But especially so for the stream. I think having places where I can post updates and people can kind of talk, and I can put up polls for, future shows, things like that. I don't know. I just think it's a fun little collaborative thing. I wouldn't mind doing something in the future too, where I can get a couple, like one or more of the CSO guys, or even just people I know online who are hobbyists, and doing like a screen share thing or camera feed share, and have like a collaborative painting stream of some kind. Kind of make that like a semi-regular thing, like, I don't know, once a month, have somebody team up and we'll kind of paint something, either paint the same thing or paint something similar or paint completely different things, and we'll just chit chat, yeah, who knows, we'll see. Just spitballing ideas right now. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the fire moth. Probably going to be putting a Clan of Cat emblem here, but I'm going to go ahead and spawn this thing up. Do a bit of a more prominent one right here. There we go. I drove King Crab or Crab if I didn't have the King Crab. LOL, Crab is a nice mech too. The Crab is a super underrated medium mech actually. It can take a beating, and it can punch above its weight. Yeah, it would be fun, especially to see how different artists paint. Yeah, definitely. And like, I don't know, like Suge. I'm sure most people read his name as Suge. It's like Tsuge. But Suge, his real name's Eric. He's pretty chill. We usually have some laughs on our private Instagram chats and on Discord and stuff like that. He's, I don't know, pretty good energy, pretty good vibes. What am I doing one with him? What am I doing one with Kevin Witt? Brashido, for those who don't know. Yeah, I just think it would be fun. Ryan Peterson as well. I think that could be fun. Even Wonder Gecko, Dale Ida. And then who knows? Maybe there's people in the Discord that have the ability to stream what they're painting at, you know, at least a low level. Do like a little like, hey, guest show, guest, like have a, you know, like a audience guest member of sorts. You could even critique some of your painting, give you a little coaching. The coaching thing is something I've thought about, but I don't know, like part of me also feels like it would be kind of silly me to not try to capitalize on it with Patreon if I was going to do any private coaching. But I'm always fighting against, like, am I being greedy, or, you know, should I not sell myself short and shortchange myself? It's a tough one. It's a tough balance to play. I think I know a few of them, but only via Discord. Haven't spoken to any personally. Well, if any of you guys want to talk to any of the CSO folks, hop into the Camo Specs Online Discord. Maybe during the next segment, when we start going through Discord, I can share the link to the CSO Discord in the chat. And yeah, all of us are in there. We have like we have our own little private channel within there, but we have a bunch of public channels as well, and it's a pretty fun little community in there as well. Like I'm pretty frequently in the CSO Discord. We have like a BattleTech Miniatures channel, non-BattleTech Miniatures channel, other things too. There's even like a website feedback channel. So if you're experiencing issues with the website, it's like, you know, quasi tech support almost. You can just message in there and let us know, like, hey man, your site's broken. It's like, oh thanks, we had no idea. Yeah, and like not all the CSO guys frequent it like often, but a number of us do. And like, if you have any questions, like, feel free to ask, like about how we achieve like certain paint schemes or anything like that. We're always open to sharing the knowledge. Wasn't my best work. Trying to blow the excess water off the surface of the miniature there, so it dries a little bit more quickly. I try to do a bit of a more prominent star right here. Oh, just messing this up. Because I'm tired, that's what it is. Fortunately, when I'm tired, I don't have the most steady hand, and I tend to be a little bit impatient. So I'll take brush strokes I normally wouldn't take otherwise. I'm also gonna maneuver, so I have a little bit more bracing here. A little bit better. Cool. Good enough. I don't want to linger on that one too much. Wolf, I'm heading off. Have a good rest of the stream. I'm tired too. My higher brain functions are now on autopilot. Yeah, that's how it felt for a good portion of this evening, unfortunately. I've got a very cranky kid right now. She's been through the throes of teething the last couple weeks, and now she's sick. And she's also going through like some sleep regression. She's a little bit over a year old, learning to walk. Man, she is a handful sometimes in the evening. And, yeah, she was definitely brutal trying to put to bed tonight. Sapped out a lot of mine and my wife's mental energy. How many BT meetings do you have painted? Oh man. Close to about 200, something like that, and like not all of them are mechs. Like I would say about half are mechs, maybe half are mechs. I have a lot of infantry, a lot of vehicles, battle armor, VTOLs, things like that. Maybe 3 would take it a day at a time, man. I've been there. Mine's 4 now. My daughter's actually crying right now. I can hear her. It's unfortunate. My wife's kind of looking after it at the moment, but last couple nights she's been waking up at around this time and just kind of making noise for a little bit. Last night she pooped in her sleep and woke up because of it, so hoping she doesn't stay up for too long. She was hard to get to bed. Kids are awesome, but they're definitely a lot of work. I definitely have done much harder things than raising children. Thankfully, so I've got like good context for it. But it is still hard. It is still hard, especially day in, day out. I think that's really where it proves to break some people. So you just don't get a break. So you gotta figure out how to remold your life and how you do things to fit the needs of this new human being. For some people, they check out. That's too much. Thankfully, that's not me though. Quite enjoy being a dad. Best thing I ever did, legitimately. I know it's like the sappy cliche thing everybody says, but it's definitely like the best thing I've ever done. Pounds are down. To the Nova, and then we'll be about halfway done these. Thankfully, most of the rest of the mechs are quite small. other than the Vapor Eagle. The most difficult ever rewarding thing you can do. My youngest will be off to college in New York City in 2 weeks. It's got to feel pretty good. Got a human being going off into the world. Yeah, you know, it's definitely, it's like there's, I'm sure it'll prove to be a lot more difficult once my daughter is fully conscious and you know, has a lot more autonomy. I think that's where it's going to become a lot more challenging, because then I'm much more of a guiding force than anything. Just hoping that she will take my advice. But yeah, I was a bit of a delinquent youth, so I'm very nervous for when my daughter becomes older and enters her teenage years. My wife is quite stubborn, but my wife was not a delinquent like I was, so. And by delinquent, I mean like legitimate delinquent. I got arrested a number of times. A couple charges, nothing I'm proud of at all, by any means. Definitely, I wasted a lot of time when I was young. My daughter crying anymore, which is good. Top of these panels here. I really want to know what these things are on either side of the Nova's cockpit area. These little pods. They almost look like air intakes. I've said this like the last several streams, but I want to know what those are. I just want to know. I want to know. Because I don't know. Side and top of these. I'll start there. Okay. Side. I think that's about good for the Nova. Onto the Vapor Eagle here. Oops. Thankfully, my brush handle didn't straight up roll through paint when I dropped my brush there, so that's awesome. because I have this fan that's oscillating in my room, it is paint is drying really quickly on my brush. Or the ink rather, it's drying really quickly, so I'm just trying to keep it hydrated so it doesn't dry out as quick. Just want to hit like these little dots, nothing super prominent. It's already dried on its own. A little bit of a nub on there. A little nub of pigment. Very tedious part, but once it's done, it's done. Monster stars down there. Let's do a big one on the chest here. Probably refine this with the just for conversation, what is your favorite IS faction and your favorite clan faction on DCMS and Clan Jaguar Novacat? I am definitely DCMS for Intersphere as well. I mean, I'm a fan of SLDF, but I mean, you know, they're only around for a relatively short period of the entire timeline. So DCMS definitely top of my list. For Clan, it's definitely between Clan Novacat and Clan Wolf for me. I really like Clan Ghost Bear as well. But yeah, I don't like Clan Novacat, like they just kind of flat out like use camouflage all the time, like operational camouflage all the time. That's just their de facto, I mean, aside from Alpha Galaxy here obviously, but their de facto default is paint your mech what the area you're going to be fighting in looks like. And as a recon person who is very much into cam and concealment, that just tickles a little fancy that I have. A couple of stars this side. Top. I'll work to the back and then this guy will be done. This one a little bit more prominent. Oops. Definitely excited to throw some decals on these guys. Alpha Galaxy insignia is just like a series of stars with like a Cameron star dagger in blue, and then debating what color of font I'm going to use for the numerals, like the numbers. I might use like green with black bordering. I don't know, we'll see, because it'll stand out a bit. Might also use red. White is also an obvious choice, but because it's such an obvious choice, I kind of want to try something different. Will not do good for now. Honestly, at a distance, it looks pretty slick. decent amount of stars. I'm happy. Let's go on to the Hellhound. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. I'm probably gonna have a snack after I hop off the stream. I have a bunch of breakfast burritos that my wife and we always meal prep, and I have a couple breakfast burritos that I have sitting in my fridge. Might go ahead and nuke one and have that as a little snacky snack. Got a bunch of egg, a bit of sausage, like low ingredient sausage, basically just like the meat casing and spices. And I've also got some sauteed potatoes and beans actually added in along with some cheese. Super, super tasty. Good macros, like good protein, not too much fat, good carbs. Some of them are in whole wheat wraps, some of them are just in white flour wraps. I don't really fret too much over that. More worried about calories and macros. Definitely always worried about protein. I think that's like the main thing I'm always worried about, trying to get enough protein. Even if the other things kind of falter a little bit in terms of accuracy on what you should be getting. If you get enough protein, you're going to be doing okay for the most part. Help keep you full, keep you from like losing all your muscle mass, even if you're not lifting. Definitely a big fan of eggs for that, but because they're just so easy. This one's a little sloppy back here, but that's okay. Star on the back there. Byron, Donegal, Gars, and Ghost Bears for Wargaming Wanderlust. Nice white flour wraps are the way to go. The extra gram of fiber in the whole wheat ain't worth it for the texture. I don't mind the texture of the whole wheat ones, and I kind of like the flavor of them, especially if they're grilled well. I like them because they get like extra crunchy, if that makes sense. But I mean, I definitely like. I prefer the flavor overall of the white flour ones. Definitely not a fan of the like high protein ones. They just don't taste that good. I can do without those. I'll just have the normal carby ones. Got the missile launcher here. Side of the torso. I think that's probably good on the Conjurer. Pretty nice. We got a bit of a bare area there. Let's add just a couple. It's always good to take a look from different angles, top down, from the side. Just like that. I think that's good. Just a few. Frequently slam random protein shakes throughout the day when I don't think I'm getting enough. I stopped doing shakes, and I've just gone for the high protein milk, because it basically gives you the same amount, almost, in terms of protein as like a protein powder shake. I go with like Fairlife or Lactania. Up in Canada, I don't know like how available those ones are in the States, but I do know that they have similar ones in the States. But yeah, it's like for a single cup, it's 14 grams of protein and like single cup as in like 250 milliliters. So if I have like a normal IKEA like kitchen beverage glass, it has about a pint of capacity, which is about 500, you know, it's just shy of 500 milliliters. So you're talking like 28 grams of protein in that glass of milk. And the calories aren't bad either. It's like 200. So overall, it's like, I think it's a pretty good one to just quickly, yeah, Fairlife, yeah, Fairlife's the one, 100%. But that's what I, like we buy probably, I like to do half and half, like half chocolate milk, half of the regular Fairlife, like high protein milk. Just because, I don't know, I like sweet stuff, but not too sweet. So I'll do like half a glass is chocolate milk, the other half is regular milk, and yeah, so we buy like 3 chocolate milk jugs and 3 regular milk jugs every time we go grocery shopping, just because that's like our quick little in-between meals, get some protein, quick little snack. Seal test gang. Hell yeah, dude. Always got to seal test your milk. Same thing when you buy eggs, you gotta do the crack check. You gotta open up those cartons, take a quick little peek. Thankfully, I don't really buy eggs from the store anymore. I have a local farm source that I get from, so one of the perks living in the middle of nowhere. I get them delivered to my house every Friday. Oh, actually, I'll have to go see if they're on my doorstep. Thankfully, you can actually have eggs out for, like, people don't realize this. You can have eggs out at room temperature for, like, days, and they won't go bad. Fun fact. Horned owl with his little starry head. Starry-eyed surprise. Speaking of kids, just to help with the 4-year-old, why may you ask? Because he wanted to tell me about the charger. Nice. Which charger? Like a phone charger or the charger in the game? Like the charger mech? TARDIS, not a bad combo. Chocolate milk and Fairlife high protein, yeah. And TARDIS, I'm messing with protein iced coffee, nice. Yeah, I try not to do the sweet stuff too much. That's honestly why I cut the chocolate milk with just the normal white high protein milk. I just don't like having too much sugar. I do enjoy Diet Coke, I will say that. I have probably, like, not every night, but most evenings I will have a single Diet Coke as like a little treat. Because people get really weird about aspartame. There's like essentially no data to show that there's any detriment to having a little bit of Diet Coke. Now, if you're drinking only Diet Coke instead of water, that's an issue. That's definitely not good for you, and the research definitely supports that. But if you're literally just having like 1 or 2 a day, you're fine. Totally fine. Not going to cause you any issues. Coke Zero, just one for me. I think caffeine is higher in those. Interesting. Did you know, fun fact about Coke Zero, Coke Zero is essentially, it's almost the exact same drink as Diet Coke. Even like when they do blind taste tests with people, a lot of times they can't tell the difference between Coke Zero and Diet Coke. The main reason that they made Diet Coke, or correction, Coke Zero, was to market it to men. Because men just were not buying Diet Coke because men had hang-ups about buying a diet product. Stubborn as we are. True story. Water all day, fam. Yeah, I drink predominantly water. I probably have like 3 to 4 liters of water a day. Most days. Not every day, but most days. For sure, like close to 3 liters most days. Of just like actual pure water, filtered water. I just do like a Brita filter in my fridge. I don't do bottled water or anything like that. And yeah, cold Diet Coke hits like a cigarette for me. Yeah, I don't smoke cigarettes anymore either, but I know the feeling. Like, your soul's been quenched, dude. Like, I totally know that feeling. Aspartame is a lot like the elevated radiation content in bananas. I'll be brutally honest, I was not tracking elevated radiation content in bananas. But that's like granite. Like granite has a radioactive signature. So if you have granite countertops and you put a Geiger counter near them, like they're gonna have slightly higher radiation than background radiation. Like if you go to like Central Station in New York City, which is composed predominantly of granite, you can bring a Geiger counter in there, and people have done this. And like the Geiger counter will show a not insignificant change to the background radiation when you walk into there. The more you know. Knowing is half the battle. The other half is violence. Giggity. How'd you stop smoking? Honestly, I literally just stopped. I don't have a good answer for you. I just decided to stop and I stopped. I was never really addicted to smoking cigarettes. I guess. I did it mostly socially. And I don't know. There was just a day I was just like, I don't like doing this anymore. And I just decided to not do it anymore. So, yeah, no magic tricks. I guess just sheer fucking will. But I didn't really find it that hard to quit. I'll be brutally honest. Like, I didn't have any hang-ups about it. So, I didn't experience the same struggles a lot of other people do, especially my friends that have struggled with trying to quit. Yeah, I don't know. Like I used to chew tobacco. I vaped. I smoked cigarettes. Like I don't do any of it anymore. Occasionally, like if I'm out in the field with my friends, I might smoke a single cigarette. But I haven't done it in 2 years. And even like 2 years ago, it was like I was out in the field for a week and I smoked 2 cigarettes. Like that was it. Like around a bonfire, drinking beers. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like we're done for the day and we're just shooting the shit around a fire before we went to bed. So I smoked a cigarette while sipping on a beer. And then like chewing tobacco, same thing. Like I've had it a handful of times over the last 2 to 2.5 years. And yeah, even before then, like it was just very seldomly. Major military exercises, things like that, I'd smoke cigarettes and chew tobacco. Like chewing tobacco, especially at nighttime to stay awake. That was huge, just because the nicotine is a stimulant. So my friends are all off the chew though and onto the pouches. Like they are just on nip pouches like crazy. Fair, sheer will seems to be the way to go. I've been struggling with quitting it for a while now. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it would probably be, like, for me, it's weed. Like, I love weed. You know, I live in Canada, so it's legal. And when I go to the fields and whatnot, I have no problems not smoking it, but when I'm at home, I'm just like, why would I not? It's, on a Saturday evening or something like that, or like this evening, like I've had 2 bong rips throughout the evening, and it's I'm perfectly coherent. It's just my thing. I don't really drink alcohol much. Like the only times I really do is around holidays or if I go on vacation. special occasions, things like that. But I'm not much of a casual drinker. And I do find this ironic considering I do have a beer on my desk next to me, but I'm on summer vacation right now, so I've had a single beer every night for the last 8 nights. Crazy. But yeah, that's how I drink these days. Is I have like a single drink or maybe 2. Like I might, if I'm feeling crazy, I'll crush a bottle of wine with my wife. Again, a very rare occurrence with me. Happens like once every couple months. So I don't know. I definitely struggled with addiction a lot when I was younger, in my teens. I was on some pretty heavy shit, and I got off that. So I think just by contrast, when it came to quitting cigarettes and other things, they just weren't that hard as compared to things like cocaine and speed. So I don't know. No good answer for me, unfortunately. Like I've had my battles, and I kind of got to a point where I was just like, no, this isn't for me anymore. I don't want to do this, and just made the decision. And honestly, I mean, like when it comes to cigarettes, after about 3 days of not smoking cigarettes or doing chewing tobacco, you have no nicotine left in your system. Like your body purges it all within 72 hours or less, even if you're a heavy user. So beyond that, it's 100% psychological, and a lot of it I think is just the ritual. There's definitely the social aspect of it. If you work in like a blue collar environment, like you have the boys like, hey, let's go for a smoke. Like that's huge. It's huge in the military too. Like people smoke indoors. Allegedly, people smoke indoors in my building. Like it's just there's such a culture of it. Like actually, so my base specifically, we always cheer every year because every year before Christmas across the Canadian Armed Forces, there's briefings. It's like sexual harassment and conduct briefings and things like that, and addiction awareness and resources for members and whatnot that are experiencing financial issues or drug issues or anything like that. It's just like this thing that we all pay lip service to it. The military has to say like, hey, we've done our annual briefings. Like the troops have been reinformed and reminded of all these things. But they always list off that CFB Shiloh, Canadian Forces Base Shiloh, has the highest usage of tobacco across the entire Canadian Armed Forces, and just under half of all the military personnel on base self-declare as tobacco users. And there's always big cheers, and the health lady that reads that off always kind of cringes. It's very funny. I really enjoy it. It's very entertaining. I think coke and the other uppers can give a large dopamine hit than that other drug, which makes them more addictive. Yeah, coke was brutal for me. Like I kicked it in my late teens. Like I started doing hard drugs at a very, very young age, like 13, 14, far too young. And I got off essentially all the hard drugs in my late teens. Had another little dabble with a few of them in my early 20s, but essentially since then I've been clean. So. But I do like cannabis. Cannabis is my go-to. It's like my vice of choice. It's the only one that I really do with any real frequency. Like I smoke marijuana daily unless I am like have work obligations that would preclude me from doing so. Or like family responsibilities that would preclude me from doing so, or if I'm traveling. Like I have no problems not like that's again, it's the weird thing. Like if I know I can't do it somewhere, I have no problems not doing it. But if I know I can do it and I'm like, no, like I shouldn't, it's like, well, why not? Like I have this time, I'm not doing anything else, I'm just chilling out for the rest of the night and then going to bed. Why not have a little toot, have a little smoky toke, enjoy my last little hour or two that I'm just gonna like kick back and watch a TV series or play a video game or paint. It's the best thing in the world for painting. Now, of course, this is just me, and I gotta be clear, I'm not endorsing the use of cannabis, because I definitely think that there's a lot of people who can't handle it that well. I just happen to be one of the people that can handle it well. My brother definitely can't handle it well, and you know, he's got mental health issues, he's on psychotropic medications, so like any kind of narcotic or drug is just not good for him, like even alcohol. But you know, he's one of those people. We just ain't for him. Makes him very paranoid, and he gets lazy, and it's just not a good thing. Whereas for me, it makes me productive. So it's a very weird thing. It's very different for a lot of folks. And for him, like you know, he has schizoaffective disorder. So if he when he was using weed, like it greatly exacerbated all of his symptoms. Like his delusions were off the rails. As soon as he got off all the drugs and stopped drinking, like actually started taking his medication, it was like a different person. Crazy. Addictive personalities. I think. Oh yeah, I missed the other message from Copstar Night. Yeah, it's leftover from my AF days. Griffin, addictive personalities of the heavy, self-destructive kinds run on both sides of the family, so I've never even been drunk. That's smart, honestly, and that's not all high and mighty or anything. No, that's honestly smart. If you know it's like in your genetics, and like I hear the argument like genetics versus like learned behavior. Honestly, I don't think it really matters. If it's very clear that it seems to run in your family, avoiding it's just a smart thing. It doesn't really matter the reason that it runs in your family. If it seems to run in your family, just avoid it. Heck yeah, get you a birthday bong hit. Matt Tardis, main reason I got into coke was a lot of the hot girls at school did coke. Yeah, I was just big in the party scene, that's why I did it. And I got into the party scene really, really young. I hung out with a lot of people older than me from a very young age. And yeah, just the wrong crowds. Like I had good parents. I lived in a kind of a shitty neighborhood with a lot of delinquent kids around me that had kind of bad homes. So that's why I got exposed to a lot of this stuff at a young age. But my parents were great, and they did everything they could to try to steer me clear of it. But I was just like, nope, I'm going to do me. And yeah, we ain't for everyone. I get very driven to paint or do household tasks. Yeah, and there's certain tasks that I don't enjoy doing so I just don't. Like I make sure that I don't like if I'm gonna for me, if I'm gonna clean my house, I don't like doing it baked. If I have something that requires a lot of mental energy, I don't like to be baked. If I require something that I need to drive a vehicle, probably don't want to be baked. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Just like there's nothing wrong with getting a buzz on once in a while. Well, with all of that party talk about youth and doing things you shouldn't, we've kind of reached the end of the painting portion of the program tonight. We've got all of the stars painted on. Next stream, tomorrow night, I am going to have the airbrush fired up, and we will come in and create a little bit of light bloom on a few of these miniatures. I'm just going to center these off and zoom in a little bit. Boom. They're looking super bright. After we do that little bit with the airbrush and create a little bit of light bloom, we're going to go in and do a little bit of basic like dry brushing and edge highlighting. I'm also probably going to pick the areas where I want to apply decals, whatever your preferred pronunciation, and I'm going to varnish them with some gloss varnish through the airbrush. That way it's going to make the application of the decals just a little bit more forgiving. Just makes the finish a lot more smooth. Then we'll seal them with gloss varnish, then hit them with matte varnish to bring the finish back down, and carry on with the rest of the paint work. We're actually getting pretty close to, like, I would say we're a good like 3/4 of the way done these, just in terms of overall time spent. Like, we are about 3/4 done these. Very, very happy with how these are coming across, or coming along rather. Definitely gonna come in with the airbrush and make this not so terrible. That one little spot, it's mocking me. I don't like it. But yeah, digging how this is looking. The Nova looks pretty good too. It's got a lot of those hard panel lines. Our Moth is looking pretty spectacular as well. Conjurer, honestly, like this one, the Conjurer, the Hellhound, the Conjurer / Hellhound, the Horned Owl / Peregrine, and the Warhawk / Massacre, whatever pronunciation you want to use. These three are probably my favorites. And I think these are probably the three that I'll spend the most amount of time on, just to make sure that the finer details are pretty well refined. I definitely took a little bit more time with these three when I was doing a lot of the edge highlight work. But yeah, really, really, really like these. I suppose I'll probably do some jump jet work at some point as well, with just normal brush and airbrush. Probably do that towards the end before we do the basing. I'm hoping to finish all of the paintwork off on these by the end of next Saturday's stream. At the very latest, next Monday's stream. That's kind of I want to do the basing and finish these guys off. So yeah, let's pop over to my PC desk. We'll hop into Discord, take a look at a few things, close up the stream. All right, at the painting desk now. Let's get Discord popped up here, and we're gonna turn on Discord window, turn off the slideshow in the background. All right, so let's go to the real-time painting channel. Oh, nice, we got some good stuff in here. Let's take a look at the stuff from from after the last stream. Oh yeah. So last stream we had Mantartis post this in. This is a lance that he was working on throughout the stream while I was painting. Some pretty good stuff. After Mantartis, so this is like since I closed out last stream. This is Suge, one of the other CSO guys. This is Eric. His name's Eric. This is a Marauder 2C that he's working on. Here's another shot of it. Absolutely beautiful. I love the high contrast red. I'm definitely gonna, I want to put out some polls, and because after I finish these mechs, I want to move on to either some Dracotis Combine stuff, or maybe Spear Cats. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe even Warhammer, who knows? So I do have a character miniature that I'm slowly kit bashing together. This is from Bach Meets Noob, also known as Colton. This is a huntsman. Correction, not a huntsman. This is a, oh man. Not a huntsman, not a grasshopper. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I gotta Google this. I need to Google this because this is embarrassing that I can't remember the name of this. Oh my goodness. Kingfisher, yes! Kingfisher. Oh my god, I can't believe I couldn't remember that. Kingfisher. That's the one. Beautiful Kingfisher. Oh, nice. Looks like either urban or Arctic camo from Star Captain Poindexter. Super intimidating to post. Painters are fantastic, better than my noobish. Star Captain Poindexter, if you're in the chat, do not speak ill of yourself. Ill Clan Spear Cats. Nice, okay. Nice, nice, nice. Well, I hope you absolutely slay at the AS350 with these, because they look pretty good. I'm digging it. I like the top color choice for the canopy. It really pops. I see a Warhammer 2C in there. That's a LRM carrier, I believe, not the SRM carrier. Not sure what the vehicle in the back there is. But you also got the Mongrel / Grendel, and then the Nova Cat down here. Definitely a big fan of the Nova Cat. I have a Nova Cat B config, actually, one of the new miniatures, the official sculpts, that I am in the process of cleaning up. It's a print, actually, a pre-production prototype. So that, along with a couple Shadow Cats. I have some Shadow Cat Prime. I also have a Shadow Cat I config, which is an official sculpt pre-production miniature. I'm going to be painting those up. I'm going to be doing them as like Spear Cats, Clan Protectorate. Let's keep scrolling down here. Alright, yeah, the most recent stuff. Red Baron. Ooh, what is this? Oh my goodness, these are beautiful. What are these? Some Nebula paint scheme is one of your current projects. What are these vehicles? These are absolutely beautiful. I definitely love the Nebula paint scheme, by the way. Like, super awesome. I love this. I love everything about these. Star Knight, nice. Got the old Highlander. The old overbrush, dry brush paint job layering. Or layering paint job, rather. Over the brown, nice choice. Quick and dirty, quick and easy. Got the caution marking around the missile launchers, I like that. Banshee grav tanks from Cav, nice. Ooh, a true nerd playing Cav. Deadly. Really digging that stuff. I really like this. Like, this is super cool. I guess, like, New Belt Pirates or Periphery Star Guard, they both run like starfield schemes. You could totally do this paint scheme in either of those pirate / merc schemes if you wanted to. Yeah, New Belt Pirates and Periphery Star Guard. Periphery Star Guard is also like a starfield scheme. Well, that's pretty awesome. I really like that. I haven't done any Davion Guards yet. I don't know, for whatever reason, doing a big force with all the pinstriping, track suiting seems laborious to me. But maybe I should just get off my my lazy couch and get on my high horse and get all high and mighty like the Davions. Oh, Comstar Knight. You shouldn't have. I love the purple. Absolutely beautiful. I love how vibrant that is. I'll show you how to do jump jets. I'll do two versions. I'll do just with normal brush, and then I'll do like with the brush enhanced by airbrush later on in this series with the Nova Cats here. That way you can make these jump jets on that Wraith pop. I like this, the Sky Earth non-metallic metal. That's pretty slick. I like it. especially at arm's length, that would look super chrome-like. Oh, the dazzle camo on the Night Star. That's awesome. That is super cool. What is the what's that appendage on the backside there? Looks like arrow artillery or something like that. It's pretty cool. Or is this even a Night Star? Is this like another? Is this like Cav stuff? Lobster. Interesting. Oh, so it's like a custom thing. Interesting. Okay. Oh, dude, I love that. That's super cool. I love the all the crack lines. Very neat patterning. I really enjoy that. That's definitely my favorite. Right there. LRM 15s. Those are LRM 15s on the back? Deadly, okay. 2 times LRM 15s, I'm assuming? Like one down, one on the bottom half, and then one on the top half. That's pretty cool. Neat. Neat. I dig it. I dig it a lot. Well, I believe it is 11:30. It's about where I want to kind of cut the show off. So I think that's it for tonight, folks. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Hope you enjoyed the show. Next show is going to be tomorrow evening at 7:30 Central. I might do it at 8 just to shove it a little bit later because my daughter's been a little bit fussy going to bed. So I'll probably do it at 8 actually. I'm going to make that correction right now. We're going to do that at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to be going until midnight. So we'll be doing 4 hours of work on these things. A little bit of minor airbrush work and getting all the decals done. So don't miss it. Yeah, see how close to that finish line we can get. It's been another relaxing real-time painting session on Arclight's ASYLUM. I'll see you next time. Have a good night, folks.